Hey everyone, my name is Frank Klesitz. I'm with Viral Marketing, and we got Stephen here at Rockstar Connect. And if you're watching this webinar, you're going to join us for a great discussion today on how to grow your database. And then once you grow it and once you meet people, how do you stay in touch with them? This is where I come in. So Stephen's really going to go deep on hosting networking events in your community and consistently having a strategy to bring people into a one-to-many situation where you can meet people and have a lot of very efficient conversations where you're positioned as the guest and not the pest. And by holding these networking events, it's a great excuse to meet people and to bring people together that's very consistent. You know, once you have all these people that you meet at your networking event, what do you actually do with them to show them that you're in real estate in this case and stay in touch with them and maintain top of mind awareness so eventually they hire you and contact you or refer you, even more likely, to someone who may be interested in buying or selling a home. So let's get started today. Stephen, thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey, thank you, Frank. It's great to speak with you again.
Awesome. And I think we have Braden here that's kind of working this. Braden, why don't you make sure you mute out, man, because I think we hear you typing on the background. There you go, man. Awesome. He's kind of running the webinar with us.
It could be him typing or my dog snoring, one or the other.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this. We have a real estate agent watching that possibly maybe isn't really into the whole hard telephone prospecting sales culture of real estate. Now, the nature of the business requires you to make lots of calls, but ideally, you'd like to make calls to people maybe who know who you are, that kind of are somewhat warm as opposed to cold calling. And one of the ways to warm people up before you have to cold call is to meet them at an event. So why don't you tell me the need that you filled with real estate professionals wanting to hold their own networking events and how that helps them with their business?
Well, I have a sort of an interesting backstory that I'm going to keep very brief. But essentially, I've been in business for myself since I'm 21 and I'm 50 now. And I was always successful in whatever I did, regardless of what I did, in industries where people didn't necessarily make money. And people would say, how are you able to make money? And I reflected over what I did. It was because I did networking. I did networking events. And I met a real estate agent who came into one of my businesses trying, they were doing door knocking. And I said, you're very brave. Nobody's ever done that before. What is your purpose of knocking on my door? And she said, I need to make relationships. I said, well, you ever thought of having your own networking event where people are coming to you and you're not banging on people's doors, where you can be the hero, you can be the local celebrity? And she went back to her broker, and her broker called me up on the phone and said, can you tell me about your idea? And he immediately opened up a checkbook to say, can you do that for me? And I said, well, this seems to be a great vertical to try it in. I sold my existing businesses and I got a real estate license myself. And I started my own networking event. And within 6 months of running my networking event 6 times, I was in the top 1% of Coldwell Banker nationally. And that was the only thing I used. I stayed very kosher using my networking event. And I said, Eureka, I really do have a good idea here. And I put it out to the world, to the real estate world, a course on how to run your own event. And people said, that's very attractive to me that took the course, but it's very complex too. I don't have time to do the boring grunt work aspects of networking. I just want to be there. I want to show up at an event and be the host and help other people in my community and make those great relationships. So that's how we created Rockstar Connect. And essentially our clients they're the hosts of the events. They're already rock stars. They believe in helping other people. They believe in the law of reciprocity, that if they do good things for other people and put that out in the world, it's going to come back to them many times over. They have a success mindset. When they do something, they follow up on it. The attendees that come to the events, they're the audience. They're consuming the social media that's associated with the event. And they're also going to the event and they're talking about the event and they're speaking about the host. They're the host's raving fan. They become brand evangelists for that real estate agent, that Rockstar real estate agent. Our company, we are the roadies. So we're plugging in the guitars, we're carrying the heavy speakers, we're contacting the venues, doing venue touch points, posting the event, social media. And basically, what we find is everyone should have networking as part of their arsenal of doing real estate, but they should do it in the most effective way manner. So I was talking with a little bit before, and I find that for many people that I speak with that attempt to go to networking events, they feel like they are going to a dance without a date. They get to the event, they meet 4 or 5 people, they grab 5 business cards, and they said, I just killed 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back. And they repeat that over and over again with little impact, or they quit networking entirely. People that host their own event, though, they have a different experience. They don't have to go to 20 events. They can have their one event. Everyone knows who they are before they get there because of the beautiful tool of digital media and email campaigns. They're researching you before they get to the event. And of course, you're going to get all that data of all the people that went to your event and people that have RSVP'd online that haven't even gone to your event. You're collecting all that information to put into your database to grow your network. So what is the value of having a network? First of all, you already have a network. You may not be aware of it. Better agents out there, more experienced agents, live or die by their network. But you may be a newer agent. You don't even know you have a network. But that could be the orthodontist that your kids go to, the people that go to the PTA meetings, the parents of the kids in Boy Scouts, in that Boy Scout chapter. Those are all part of your network. All those people have needs, whether it be real estate needs, or maybe they're small business owners, or people that need and require clients. They're part of your old network. If you want to really stand out in that network, though, you have to provide more value than just being a great real estate agent. There's a lot of really good real estate agents out there. When you host your own event, you are the leader in your community. You're getting local celebrity status. People know who you are. They can therefore, if you're a good person, they can like you. And when they like you and trust you, they're going to use you for business, or they're going to refer to you. Now, your old network is going to see you as a connector to this new network you're creating at your networking event, because you're constantly bringing in new bodies. You're a real estate agent. You have a little bit of freedom with that to do that type of networking because you're not in a 9-to-5 job. But a lot of people in your network, they can never get out. So you become the connection for them to new potential clients and resources. That's just tip of the iceberg, really. But I just wanted to throw that out there to the people that are listening.
Good, great. So we at Viral Marketing, my brother-in-law lives here next to me in Coronado, California. Let me show you where that's at. So I'm gonna pull up a map on the screen. So here's the United States, and we're gonna zoom into where I'm at in San Diego. Coronado is where all the Navy SEALs train. So here's San Diego. Here's your harbor. You basically have this little island right down here, and there's me right now working from home. All right. But on this island, you probably have about 5,000 or 6,000 homeowners that a lot of real estate agents are fighting over to get the business here. And he's trying to break in of someone who's never sold a home before, trying to build a relationship with someone to get his first listing or first buyer. And what you guys did is you ended up contacting the Coronado golf course right here. And here, I believe you traded out some drinks or whatnot, but right here at this golf course, my brother-in-law had a wonderful, mixer. Was right actually in here where he had a networking event and had the Rockstar Connect and had a good number of people show up that he was able to meet. And you successfully drove people to the networking event for him, and he didn't have to do anything, really. I mean, he should do something because there's ways the agent can promote it, but you guys did a lot of the heavy lifting. So why don't you tell me that process of, in a very competitive market, a very high-end market, right? This is a very niche market. How were you able to pull this off right in here for a little networking event?
Well, first of all, it always starts, with a venue. One of the big pain points of having your own event is getting a venue to provide you with the space. So for Scott, we reached out into the area that he wanted to geographically farm, and we located venues that he would possibly want to hold his event. we got the venue to remove all charges associated with using the space. So no room fees, no minimums or anything along those lines. And we even got them to provide free finger food for his event. So the people that were attending, they're not getting a Thanksgiving Day feast, but they have the ability to keep their hands busy so they're not nervous when they're networking. And I just want to point out that's to your advantage. Your attendees are a little nervous. You get to make them feel more comfortable. Sort of feels like when you're dealing with someone who's selling their house or someone who's buying their house. It's something that you're already good at. So we also did all the venue touch points for him. So that's contacting the venue on a regular basis saying, this is how many people are coming. These are special needs that are required. That was all done for him. So he didn't have to worry about that. We just reported back to him what he needed to know to prepare for his event. Now, we were the hotline the night of his event. So if there were any issues, he could continue networking. He just called our 1-800 number, and one of our staff people dealt with the venue. We can fix any problem the night of an event with a credit card. You just continue doing your core purpose, which is networking. We're there to back you up 100%. Any of the attendees that contact to ask about the event, like for example, how do I get to the Coronado Municipal Golf Course? Our team answers those phone calls. We know that our clients are very busy. They can't handle that level of calls. We answer the emails about people asking about the event. That's all done for the client. We also do the social media associated with the event. People don't realize, that it takes a lot to post an event. We found there's over 180 tasks associated with posting an event properly on the different platforms. It takes about 5 hours to do it effectively if you know what you're doing. Our company does that for the client.
Well, let's talk about that just to show people there's a market for this. I'm on Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
What does someone type in to find a networking event?
To type in a networking event, and
type in networking. Yeah,
we have one. His event hasn't been announced yet, but if you
they
want
probably type in networking, right? Or
networking, and all sorts of events will come up.
Yeah, like networking events.
Right.
So people usually go to Eventbrite and they'll go through and they'll search for like a business or networking event, and then they'll come across the Rockstar Connect event that looks really nice, and people can register just from the organic search traffic that happens right on Eventbrite is one of the channels.
Yes, we use Eventbrite, and we use Meetup, and we use Facebook. We create the Meetup group for you and the Facebook group. We market to your existing network on your behalf through email campaigns. We create all the copy, all the images. It's not a custom program, but it's a very semi-custom program. We respond to our clients' requests to add verbiage. Maybe the client has a charity they want to promote or something they want to do special at their event. We're able to accommodate for them for them. But you always speak about the follow-up. So people are coming to your event. These events are typically in a restaurant/bar, exciting, fun place for people to go. And we're finding that venue for you and discussing with you venues in the area that you would like to have. You don't have to call them. We're going to do all this for you. Now, all these people are coming to your event. They're bringing their business cards and they're bringing their sign-in sheet. This is sort of an interesting story. I did my event for several years, and you're going to hate me because you're a database person. I threw all those business cards into shoe boxes. And I wear a size 12 shoe, and I had lots of these boxes. Mm-hmm. And when I married my wife and she started helping with the event, she said, "What are you doing? That's gold. You have gold sitting in shoe boxes." And she scanned all those cards. It was very labor intensive for her to do that. And she transcribed all my sign-in sheets. And I had a real sizable database of thousands of people in my local market that I wasn't following up with. So my wife said, "You can't have that with Rockstar Connect. We're going to do that for the client." So our clients, they collect the business cards, they collect the sign-in sheet. We provide them with an addressed envelope. They mail it back to us. And within 2 days, we get them an Excel file with all those business cards scanned, corrected the information, the sign-in sheet transcribed, and then all the people that have RSVP'd online that may not have come to their event, we collect that information and we give it to you in an Excel file. So you can then put that into your CRM of your choice. But on our end, we don't even trust you to do that. We maintain an invitation database that we immediately put into effect to thank people for coming to the event,
Yep.
to invite them to the next event, and to encourage them to invite other people into your network.
That's great, dude. What a great service.
Right. So in addition to that, there was, and it's, a lot of that, I want to thank my wife for that. She's not here, so she won't get a big head about it, but I'll thank her later. And I thank her frequently. Supplies is another issue with an event. You can have a big networking event, but if you don't have any name tags at the event, you already have a failed event. If you forget to bring a Sharpie or a sign-in sheet or anything, you have a failed event. So my wife said, hey, day of the event, we don't have Sharpies. I have to stop a money-making opportunity to go buy Sharpies, and then I have to go to another store to get name tags. I've already lost money by having this event. Let's provide that to our hosts. So we provide our hosts with a messenger bag, a Rockstar Connect messenger bag filled with all the supplies they need for the event. So that's a red tablecloth. And this has all been designed. It's like to catch people's eyes because you're in the middle of a restaurant, right? You have a 7-foot-tall banner that we designed for you, ship out to you for your event. It folds up to the size of like an umbrella, weighs about 7 pounds. The messenger bag has special VIP badges for you and any of your sponsors or important people at your event. We have name tags for all your attendees, pens, Sharpies, sign-in sheets. We even have a fishbowl for you to collect the business cards in at the event. And that's great because if you forget any of those things, you're going to have a less than successful event. And that becomes the money seat for the event because you're in the middle of a restaurant now. You're using someone else's real estate. How much is the restaurant paying for your space? A lot of money. And you have your 7-foot-tall banner in their restaurant. So even the people that are eating there say, who's that person? They come up to your event. They want to meet you. And you don't have, that money seat is designed. I was a big fan of Subway and wanted to get involved with the Subway company in development or develop my own idea in restaurants. And what I learned from the founders of Subway, meeting with them, is the reason why they were so successful was not because of their sandwich or the way they prepared it or anything else. It was because they created what they called the money seat, which is the area where your sandwiches are made and where you pay. And that is designed in such a way that it can be put anywhere in the world. You could have a Subway on the back of a truck. You could have a Subway in a gas station. It's that unit where people go and they're accustomed to what is done there. That's what we've created for the networking event. The money seat is where the registration desk. So ideally, you'll have someone from your office or you'll have your spouse. It could even be your kid doing the sign-in, and you stand directly to the left of the sign-in table. My wife, she does the sign-in at my event. My event's pretty big. I have like 4 people doing sign-in, but they all introduce me. They say, this is Stephen David Elliott. He's the host of the event. He wants you to have a great time. He wants you to make meaningful connections, and he's now officially your real estate agent. And they hand every single participant my card, and they get a good laugh. It's a good icebreaker. I really don't have to leave the front. I have a little bit of social anxiety. I'm like an introverted extrovert. Once I'm out, I'm really, really good. But, like a lot of people, I'd rather be watching Netflix than sitting on the couch. But once I'm out, I have a really good time with it. The only time I really go into the crowd is when I'm making a meaningful connection between 2 people that could possibly do business with one another or become friends with one another. And it's very dramatic because people know you're the host of the event. They've seen your name thousands of times in social media associated with the event. You are literally the rock star of the event. You're wearing a special name tag. When you go out and do that, they're watching you and they're excited. You can feel it. Until you have your own event, it's sort of hard to explain it. But, if you spoke to your brother-in-law, he would tell you, I've never felt like this really in my life. Nope. I feel like a popular kid.
I agree.
So like if I was back in high school and I had figured this out, I could have made myself the most popular kid at my high school doing something similar. That's the feeling you get at these events. And people are coming up to you and they're shaking your hand and they're thanking you and they're asking you your why you do it. Well, the reason why you're doing it is because you're trying to help other people. But if you're a person who comes from a giving philosophy, you understand the more that you help other people, the more they're willing to help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get to do something that's not calling people. You go on some of these lead gen social groups on social media. There are people that are saying, "Hey, should I start cold calling people at 5 o'clock in the morning?" I don't want to be cold calling people at 5 in the morning. I want to meet them out at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night and have a cocktail with them. That's the way you can establish that meaningful connection.
Great. So what is simple way to meet people? I mean, you recommend people how often hold these? 1 a month, 1 every 2 months?
We do them every month. Consistency is very important, and also it's very impressive to people in the greater community, because you will see other people, once you have your own event, try to copy what you're doing, but they don't have the infrastructure that you have. Rockstar Connect is your infrastructure. So it guarantees that, if you want to get a general manager of a restaurant on the phone to book your event, that might require 15 phone calls. What real estate agent has the time to do that? So what happens is they'll do one event and then they can't book their next event. Or the venue goes out of business and they have to go find another venue.
Well, they get
so one of the
distracted and pulled in different pieces. Yeah, you have to have someone dedicated running an event planner.
Right. So we're the event planner for your event. And one of the things I'm really proud of, so I was very scared with my own event. I always bring it back to my own event. My events tomorrow. I love doing them. It's the social event of the month for me. I was always afraid to cancel an event. I was afraid to cancel an event. I didn't care if it was snowing, a hurricane. I was afraid to do it. But you know what? Sometimes you end up having to do it. And I had to do it once. And I had nothing in place to handle that. And when we started Rockstar Connect, we said, a lot of people are going to have issues. Someone's mother may pass away. Or we've had venues where they stopped paying their bills. And the sheriff came the day of the event and closed them down.
Oh, man.
Well, can you imagine as a host, that's heart attack time. What do you do? Well, we have all these emergency protocols in place. First of all, we're contacting the venue. We know that it's out of business. We know this, we know that. We're able right away to rebook that event, reschedule it, reach out to all the potential attendees on social media, all the people on email, and let them know it's been rescheduled so you don't lose those RSVPs. But another benefit is it makes it look like the host is really on the ball and is able to get things done. Because how many people, intend to go to an event and the event's canceled, they don't even know, and they just show up. That's not going to engender any good feelings for you. So we like taking, lemons and making it into lemonade. So everything is an opportunity to show people how adept you are at doing things. Because they don't know that Rockstar Connect is back there pulling the strings. And they don't need to, because you don't want to do that stuff anyway. What we do is sort of tedious and boring and repetitive, and we're proactive to make sure your event is going to go well, and we're able to react when your event is going badly. We're there with you. So the way we communicate with our hosts are multiple ways. We communicate with them through Facebook Messenger, through phone call, text, and email. Every client is assigned a Rockstar Connect concierge that helps them with their event. But I know you're a big believer in this, Frank. Education is also a very large component of our program. We want people to achieve deep referral relationships. So we have created the Rockstar Connect Academy, which is on the back end of our website, that has videos and articles from various people in our company and hosts explaining how to do these events. And they're very simple. But sometimes, simple is very difficult for intelligent people, whereas complex is easier. This is very simple. We're teaching you the simplicity of meeting with other people and how to establish those deep referral relationships. We also have a mastermind on Facebook, a closed one for our hosts, so they can share their successes and we can give tips and do calls to action to help you through the world of social media. So that happens, that's part of the program. It's included in the program. And before you actually have your first event, like if you were to sign up, Frank, if you were to sign up today, we would do an intake, collect information from you. And shortly afterwards, you'd be speaking to a Rockstar Connect success coach who's very familiar with the program, who's going to ask you What area do you want to geographically farm? They're going to discuss names of your events that'll be marketable to get people to come to your event for good SEO for the event. They're going to talk about the culture of your area. What type of places do people like to meet in? Like Coronado is definitely a country club type of crowd. There's other markets, a sports bar is more appropriate, or a fine eating establishment. It all depends on the community. We help you establish that. We teach you how to utilize the social media associated with the event, and we get to know you and what your likes are and what helps you to be more successful in your business. So we're doing that the first 30 days of your program through multiple coaching calls. And on the back end, we're booking your venue, we're getting the event posted. So once you sign up for the program, you're going to have an event anywhere between 30 days and 45 days after signing up. And then you're going to have an event every month for 12 months.
That's great, dude. You guys have a great business.
Thank you.
It really is. It's so helpful. It's like such a helpful business.
And it's a really feel good business. So we have hosts of our events, and they've never had the experience of being well known before.
Yeah.
And maybe
they're getting the first taste of positioning, where people see you positioned well, as opposed to usually in real estate, here's a phone, here's a script. Start cold calling people doesn't really come across as the best positioning,
Well, here
is a little more strategic.
Yeah, and so then it's like you go to somebody else's event, and all of a sudden it's their event, but people know you run this great event. They're coming up to you at other people's events.
Yeah.
When you're at the grocery store, people recognize you because they've seen your image or they've come to your event, and they come up to you like you're a celebrity. And everyone knows in their market that celebrity real estate agent. And, it may have took them 10, 20, 30 years to achieve that, being on bus benches and magazines and, donating large amounts of money to philanthropy. It's a long road to get that. This is a shortcut to that. Yeah. So I transitioned from a totally different career and was a well-known real estate agent within a few months because of my networking event.
I love it. So let's okay. I think everyone, this is wonderful. Now let's talk about, you do the networking event and they just follow everything that you teach them how to do totally turnkey. And they take the business cards and they have the registration list, and they would have all these business cards. They have all these names. Now the problem with those names is not all of them even own a home. Mm-hmm. Not all of them necessarily reside in Coronado in this case. Many of these relationships are people who can introduce you to someone who does have the problem you can solve. So your sphere, because not people in your sphere or your centers of influence are going to hire you, but they can introduce you and create opportunities for you. So what does a real estate agent do once they get that spreadsheet and once they, come back with all of these names? Now, why did your wife said this was a gold mine? Tell me more about that.
Well, for one of the things that as a real estate agent that's very important for you being successful is to have an excellent vendor list, because you want your clients to see you as an authority, not just in real estate, but in all things in general, because a lot of your buyers, they're new to town. They don't have attorneys. They don't have people to mow their lawn. They don't have an HVAC person. You now have the ability to reach out to those people that came to your event that do those things and start creating relationships with them and start sending them business, having one-on-ones with them, having coffee with them. So right off the bat, you're getting your clients enhanced service. So for example, if I need a painter, I have 3 painters come out tomorrow and give a quote. My competition, they get scared. Someone asks for a painter. They hope a painter can get in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm establishing with my audience, with my buyers and with my sellers, that I know people, that I'm a maker, that I have a big network. And that big network is also going to help me to market their home and also give them the opportunity to access pocket listings. I mean, I'm even going to meet other real estate agents through my network that are going to respect me, that are going to give me preferential treatment when I'm in a multiple offer situation. I have never lost a multiple offer situation, and I'm in one of the hottest markets in the country. And I have the confidence when I go into those situations that I'm going to meet them because win those situations. Because for all intents and purposes, almost all offers are equal. The other agent wants to do business with people they know, right? Or people they want to impress. So the follow-up is, of course, putting people into your database, putting them into your normal drip campaigns. It's also following up with them, having a cup of coffee, or having your own offshoot events. So I do first-time buyer seminars, and I use my event. I consider myself quite astute in using social media and social Facebook groups. I utilize my list to promote those events, and I get 200 people coming to one of my seminars. Other people can't put 3 people in a seat at a seminar. An example, one of the things I did is I put out to my group on social media, which is similar to the group that we create for our hosts. Hey, who would love to go out on Sunday and look at pretty houses and have a brunch? I had 85 people respond. I would love to do that. And then I just contacted a builder that was less than 2 miles away from me and said, I have 85 people. You're going to put on a brunch for me in your model home.
Yeah.
And I showed, they actually registered all 85 of those people to me as buyers. So if they came in there and purchased a home later on, they would be registered to me. Well, it ended up being even better. I sold a spec home that they had on the market for 144 days, obviously very poorly marketed. They had an additional 1% on the commission, and they had a $30,000 bonus. And it was a $700,000 house. I got someone under contract at that event. The only reason why they came to that event is because we know Steven throws a good party. We're going to have a good time.
You know, I think what people discount with these events is the human nature of it, that people just like having a reason to come together and meet each other. Whereas when you're operating this like logical standpoint, it's like, why do these touchy-feely things? What I do like is the question I asked you was, what do you do with all these names once you have the people who have attended your event? And you said this is a great opportunity. No, they may not be looking to buy or sell a home or not even introduce you, but these could be potential vendors that you included your preferred vendor list. And here's a good list I just want to share with the audience. The ones in bold are on settlement statement, but these are all a list of people you should have your guy or gal in each of these industries so people can call you and you can help them out. I'm sure you probably get these people at your...
They want to help you out too. So some of the things that have happened for me is I had all the granite in my home replaced for free by someone in my network because they were grateful for the groups and they wanted more access to me. They wanted me to talk about them to people in my network. So they replaced all the countertops in my kitchen and all the countertops in my bathroom. Last week, I had ceramic coating done on my car. That was would have cost me $1,500. The person who did the ceramic coating did that for me for free because they wanted to be my go-to guy for car detailing. I didn't even ask for these things. These are things that were just offered to me because they know the strength of my network.
Cool.
So it's like not just what happens at the event, it's the way you're seen in the community. So Raleigh's a pretty big market. We have, a few million people live here, and they're very sophisticated people with much more education than me. They look at me as a leader. My name is mentioned. So it's really great when you're going into a conversation and people say, yeah, I know who you are. That gives you, first of all, an enormous amount of confidence when you're doing business, but it also helps you close the deal. Now, one of the value propositions that Rockstar Connect offers by having a Rockstar Connect event is we produce a PDF invitation for you every month. We encourage our hosts to print that out. So in my car right now, my event's tomorrow, I have in my glove compartment a stack of invitations. So I'm doing a listing appointment later today, and I'm going to give an invitation to the person I'm doing the listing presentation to. And I'm going to say to them, hey, when I do my event, I'm going to have your MLS flyers out on the table so people can take it. And also, I've developed all these people that follow my social media. I'm going to promote you in my social media. That's powerful to them because they don't want just a regular real estate agent. They want a superstar. They want a rock star. They want people that know people and that are well known. Now, they're impressed by this. They are. Now, buyers, on the other hand, they're moving into town. They don't know anybody. They don't have a network. Frequently, someone comes to town. The husband may have a job or the wife has a job. The other spouse doesn't. I say, well, you know what? If you use me as your agent, you're going to come to my event. I'm going to introduce you all the people you need to set up your life here. Also, by the way, I met the principal of that. I know the principal of that private school over there. I met them at my event, and I'm going to make you an introduction so you can get your kid in there. So it's a value proposition. You're offering yourself to your network, not just as a person that does an event. You're a connector. You're an authority, and you're someone that they respect. And that's what happens from doing a consistent event and using the social media tools that are available to you today.
This is great. So imagine holding a monthly event with 20, 30 people showing up, seeing you as this trusted authority, but they kind of see you as the networking person, and now you really have to connect with them that you're this a great real estate professional with lots of local market knowledge that's very well connected that can help them with all things real estate buying or selling, home improvement, whatever it may be. And you're provided with this spreadsheet of all these names by Rockstar. What do you do with them? And let me kind of show the audience here an example. I'm a big fan of, I would start the Rally Real Estate Journal or the Rally Real Estate Newsletter brought to you by your real estate team. And the goal would be is that you start publishing some stuff to stay in touch. And anyone watching this has probably heard that, what are you doing to stay in touch with your database? And publishing 2 helpful videos a month and driving them back to this nice blog like this so people can watch your videos and get to know you with all your tips and insight is a really good way to now solidify in those people's minds that you met at the networking event, that you're there to help them and guide them through any real estate decisions. So this is kind of what an example blog looks like. So I know we got a lot of the same customers that, people use Rockstar and Viral. What advice would you give to a Rockstar client or anyone that now has a bunch of names or has a bunch of business cards? What should they do to keep an ongoing communication relationship open with them?
Well, I think that utilizing people just think that social media is going to do something for them. But if you don't have something to bring to people on social media of value, your message is not going to be heard. So it's very important to use that tool properly. So I frequently use, and I want you to know I'm a Viral client as well.
Yep.
I work with Leah.
Yep.
She's great. She is my coach for videos. She had me make 4 videos this week. And with tips on my case, I don't like to talk about real estate. I like to talk about people and helping people. And we created those videos that I will distribute to my list of people in my market, providing something of value to them so that they see me as someone that's vested in their life. And that's going to create for them, the majority of my business is referral. 95% of my business is referral. I'm not dealing with Facebook leads. I'm not purchasing leads from Zillow. I'm dealing with the relationships that I have and utilizing video. And then I take, Viral helps me they take that video and they transcribe it and they make a blog for me that I can share on social media, doing some digital marketing of my events, putting up pictures of my events and tagging people that went to my events. So I have something, and we talk about it in the program in our education, where we create VIPs at our events. So there are people that come to my event. We create special tagging for them. There are other influential people in the community, and now they are representing me. So when they go out into the community, they're actually wearing a Rockstar Connect badge with the name of my event on it and talking about me. So it's about leverage. You have a big enough lever, you can turn the world with the lever. And that's what using video, using viral marketing is like, as well as Rockstar Connect. And there's something you and I were talking about before we got on. Just because you're doing events, just because you're doing videos, doesn't mean you should stop the other things that you're doing. They should all complement one another. But you need to do it consistently. So the beauty of viral marketing is, in my mind, and I don't know if you project it this way, it's like going to the gym and having a coach.
That's exactly what it is.
Make you stay with your regiment.
Yeah.
Rockstar, we're your coach for events. The advantage of a coach is, first of all, to keep you accountable, but also just to smooth the way so you know what you need to do. Because you have, with all these things you're doing, some of you are door knocking, others of you are cold calling, some of you are doing events, and others of you doing video. That's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do those things. And you also have to make money too, right? You have to sell houses and you have to, help buyers. How do you fit it all in? Well, when you have a coach, whether that be your business coach or your video coach or your event coach, they streamline the process for you so that you're able to cut right to the meat where you can be successful.
It's just like you could do your own events. You can do your own online marketing. We have the firm here that can help you do that. But let's say, money's tight and you want to do your videos on your own. Let me give the audience 2 steps I would start with if you want to go to the gym by yourself, so to speak, without the trainer. And there's kind of 2 really good video email services out there. One is Wistia has a product called Soapbox. It's a Chrome add-in that allows you to very quickly record your screen and create a video and email it out. It's pretty nice. Loom is also another one, very popular, that allows you to record a quick video on your webcam and email it out, and both of them are entirely free. So that's where I'd start.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could do that with events as well. There's a lot of great free platforms, one of which is, Facebook for posting your event. It's very easy to upload images. Meetup has great SEO. There is a charge associated with that. Eventbrite, there's no charge if you're doing a free event. And if you're just starting out and you have the time to do that, you have time to fill, that's really good. But we have a lot of people that come into our program that already have an existing event, and they need to take that extra work off their plate now because they're feeling the success of their event.
Yeah.
Another place.
Your time needs to be spent following up and getting the business, not doing the administrative side.
You're not doing the administrative side. We have a client in Reno, and she said, "You're the best employees I've never met."
Your compliment.
Yeah. But with Leah, back to viral marketing, it's like great with Leah because I'll come on and I'll say, "Hey, I only want to do 4 videos today." And I'll do 4 videos. And she says, "You know what? We have a little bit of time. Do you want to push out 2 more? I feel like, let's do 2 more push-ups, Stephen. Push them out." And that's really a time saver for me because the more videos I do in one shot, that's less, getting dressed up for the camera.
Well, yeah.
Lights and.
You have to add in there too is like, if I were to ask you to record a 45-minute video, most people would have a heart attack, but we've been on this webinar for about 45 minutes. And when you just record a conversation, it's so much easier to create your content. And that's what we do at Viral is we just get you on a meeting like this and have a conversation with you, record it, and then we edit ourselves out, and that becomes your video. So much easier.
So so I had that experience yesterday. I was, just trying to, help one of my salespeople, develop a script. I don't have a script. I just talk about what we do, and I'm passionate about it. And I had a couple of recordings of phone calls that I've since lost. They were great that he could have listened to. I had to sit down and do it myself yesterday. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without someone interviewing me or speaking with someone on the other end. It was like worse than the dentist.
Yeah. So to get someone going on video is just to use a simple webcam like this, and to interview them, it doesn't get any easier than that. Something I want to ask you, does anyone ever zero cost their Rockstar Connect by bringing in a sponsor or 2?
Not only do people zero cost their event by bringing in a lender or a closing attorney or some other related industry, we have some people, not only have they zero cost, but they make money from their event. So they actually have sponsors that come to their event that pay them more than what they're paying us. And they make money that they use for other parts of their marketing.
Great.
I wouldn't say that's every one of them, but a good 10% of our rock stars have actually make an income from their event, from sponsorship.
I think that's something anyone should do. I want to give the audience a quick example. So I got to fix a snoring solution at night. It's something I'm shopping for without having to do like a CPAP machine. God forbid I'm going to do one of those things. So I'm at my dentist. So I'm seeing my dentist and I bring up the snoring thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, you should. I got this product for you. It's this mouth guard that holds your chin forward. I'm like, okay, how much is that? And I don't remember the exact price, but it was something like $3,000 to $4,000 was how much this product was. I'm like, oh, that's expensive. Wasn't quite expecting that to be that expensive. And I start talking to her. I'm like, hey, you've been in Coronado, this nice little close area of affluent homeowners for how many years? She's like, oh, gosh, 20-some years, 25 years. I don't remember the exact number, but long time. I'm like, my goodness, you probably have a lot of people that live here, or your patients, right? She's like, yep, pretty much all my patients live here. They just drive on in. Like, interesting. Probably curious, but you probably want to sell more of those snoring mouth guards, don't you? She's like, well,
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of, I'm assuming that's where they make their money. Like, interesting. How great would it be if you said, hey, I'm doing this networking event. I'm doing this community event, whatever it may be. You want to team up? You want to send an email to all your patients on your behalf saying you'll be there? And, you'll talk to people about fixing the snoring issue.
I've done this. So my daughter needed braces, and they were $6,000. And an orthodontist had reached out. I put out on Facebook, I said, what orthodontist would like to have more exposure? And an orthodontist reached out to me, and we took lunch. And I said, I have this great networking event. I can add your name as a sponsor to the event, and I can put your stuff out on the table when you go there. When people come to the event, they can grab your business card and stuff from the table. And he gave my daughter $6,000 worth of free orthodonture.
Boom. How great is that?
Yeah, so if I was actually paying for my event, it would have paid for my event for the whole year plus a profit.
So I think just helping people understand that what's so nice about these events is, it's the annual event or the monthly certain event brought to you by your real estate team, brought to you by this company, brought to you by this company. And I think it's very possible for you to zero cost the whole thing, which is very nice considering the amount of money people spend on buying leads.
The majority of the people in our program, their lender pays for half, at least half.
Yeah.
And a good portion, it's zero cost. Their title company, their lender kick in, or the lender pays for it in their entirety. Lenders love it because it's very cost effective, very inexpensive way for them to show support to their agents and to retain real estate agents and make referrals to them. Yeah. A lot of times lenders, they don't have referrals to make. This is their way to contribute, and it's something different than just paying for your Zillow bill, which is very expensive now.
Yes.
And not all lenders can do that.
Well, not even expensive, but you are not positioned as the expert. So let's just talk about this really quick. There is going to be a further pressure nationwide on real estate commissions. I mean, you have Redfin going into every market ever, a lot of markets advertising 1% commissions.
Open Door, Knock in our market.
And, when no one values the relationship, they're just going to go to the lowest cost provider. And you go through Zillow, now they're converting the leads. And if you don't answer the phone within 3 or 4 rings, they're on the next person. And you better drop what you're doing at a second's notice and go drive 30 minutes out to show a home that there's no guarantee the buyer even shows up.
Or and you're just going to shoot you.
Yes. Very bad positioning.
Or rob you, which has happened.
Yes, it has. So what you're getting at is you have to ask yourself, you're spending all this money to build Zillow's brand, and you're coming in at lower and lower and lower positioning. Whereas a strategy like this positions you with the relationship. I mean, look, this is such a great, I want to share a story of Bob and Sue. All right.
Okay,
So,
blow my mind.
so I'm going to blow your mind. So, Bob and Sue, Sue's laying in bed on a Tuesday night on her iPad at 10 p.m. next to Bob. And Sue finds this property that just came on the market and says, Bob, this home is perfect for our kids. It has the third bedroom you want. It has the workspace you need for your home office. It's right in the area. It's in the school district. I can't believe this just came on the market. Bob, can we put an offer on this home? Bob goes, honey, I know, Sue. We want to buy this new house. It's very important to you and for our family. We have to do it. But in order to buy that house, we have to sell our current one. And Lord, we have to time it correctly, because if we have 2 mortgage payments, we are screwed, can't afford it. Right?
Right.
So Sue says, well, okay, Bob, well, let's get our home listed. Who can make this happen? But let's time this perfectly. Let's list our home. I like to hire Steven. Steven's great. I went to his networking event. We had lunch together. I trust him. I like him. He's the guy who's going to make this happen for us. I don't really understand all the details of the real estate transaction, but Steven's my guy. Now, what does Bob say? Steven? Absolutely not. He charges 7% transaction fee. We got to drive to his office for the presentation. You won't even come out here. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or, Redfin will do it for 1% or whatever else. Now, what does Sue say? Well, I understand, Bob, but this is our home. We need to get this home timed correctly. We need to get in the school district. I just feel better. And it's important to me and how I feel if Steven is our realtor that guides us through this transaction. It's very important to me, Bob, that we don't screw this up. I don't trust these other people. I trust Steven. We hire Steven to sell the home. Now, what does Bob say? Bob says we can hire Steven.
We can hire Steven. Yeah, because I know. Yeah, for me, and it blows my mind because it really aligns what I believe. I believe that the real estate, it's not, there is a sales aspect to it, but it's really permission, giving people permission to do what they want to do. Previously, when they're younger, they would go to their parents and say, hey, should I buy this car? And your dad says it's a really good idea to buy that car. And you trust your dad and you do what you're going to do anyway that you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with a house. But with some random real estate agent, you're not necessarily going to feel comfortable and trust that position, trust their permission. But with me, I rarely show more than one property because my clients trust that I've done the research to find the best value for them. And when I'm giving them permission, I'm doing it because it's to their best benefit, that they don't have to drive around to see 50 homes. I don't do listing presentations per se because I know these people already know me. I don't have to sell myself to them. Usually I can do most of it over the phone, and I'm just preparing them to get their house ready. I'm not doing a listing appointment because they already trust me. They already know who I am. Commission is rarely even brought up. In fact, when commission is brought up, it happens so infrequently that I'm sort of shocked by it.
And that's where real estate is going to head, because if you don't have that relationship and you have a very transaction-based business, the amount of discounting and disrupting that's going on in the industry is you'll be marginalized. And the ultimate durable competitive advantage of a professional service is the relationship.
For sure. I was showing some properties yesterday, and it was an open door property. So they supposedly have an open house 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We got to the door, and it asked us to download an app. My client goes, I don't want to download any app. I don't know where my information is. I don't know who's going to call me on the other end when I give out my information. Steven, can you just call Open Door for us?
Yeah, negotiate with them. Yeah.
Yeah, can you? Because we don't want to talk to strangers. We don't know who these people are. This is alien. We're used to coming to you. And I love it because when you really establish these type of relationships, I have clients, going back to the vendors list, some people start preparing mentally to sell their home a year or 2 years in advance. Mm-hmm. And if they trust you, you get on their radar at 2 years out, you're definitely going to be getting that listing. You're going to be helping them buy a new home. And they start asking you questions like, who should I get to remodel my home? Well, I have 3 guys that are going to come out to give you quotes. I know them from my networking event. I've used them with my clients, and I trust them. And I have a painter coming out, and I have a photographer, and it actually saves me a lot of time. I don't put a lot of miles on myself or my car. Real estate has become a very part-time business for me because I'm able to manage people, because I don't have to constantly be present, because they trust me. They know that I'm present, that I'm thinking about them. Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. And largely that's because of the events. It's that value add that they go, I know where he is. He's out there creating a network that I can take advantage of. It's being that go-to person, that maker, that macher, whatever word you want to use to describe who you are when you're a leader. And I mean, just look around you, look in your area, look at the people, the real estate agents that are respected. I mean, you assume they're selling a lot, but you really don't know whether they're selling a lot. But what you do know is people like them. In fact, you seek out those real estate agents to be friends with them too.
So if you're a likable person, viral marketing is good for you, and so is Rockstar Connect. If you're unlikable, don't do it. Go give it solo.
I can't take we've had some unpleasant people come into the program, and we fired them from the program. Yeah. You have, and we know if they're unpleasant, primarily of how they interact with our staff. So our staff on the back end, they are the absolute nicest, sweetest, most accommodating people that go over and above to help a client. So if they're being abusive to those people, we probably know they're not going to be great for a Rockstar Connect program.
Yeah, I can totally feel your pain on that one, my friend. Okay. So here, let's show so here's the deal, guys. If you guys are looking for a way to build your business, go check out Rockstar Connect. Obviously, that's what this whole webinar is under. Very easy to find, but you probably might want to look into what do you do to stay in touch with all these people after you meet them, to nurture them and to position yourself as an expert online. That's where viral marketing comes in. And you can go to our homepage and actually download the official video marketing plan about how to reconnect with your existing database. Today, we talked about how to build a database through the vehicle of networking events. But the rest of this plan, we'll talk about how to use video to stay in touch and kind of proactively work it. So, you can build a business centered on relationships and people who know you, like you, and trust you. So you're not so much on the transaction treadmill, dealing with strangers all the time, or worse, being held hostage by a lead provider to provide you with leads that are totally indifferent to who they work with. You're a commodity to them as far as who they work with.
Yeah. It's I was speaking to someone today who was trying to sell me lead gen, and this is their best sales pitch. This is all they could muster up was, hey, well, it's going to give you stuff that you can give to people on your team to keep them busy. That tells you the quality of the lead. I mean, it's just to give an impression that you're doing.
I have to share something. So we ran.
That's weak.
Yeah, I got to share this. So at Viral Marketing, we sell one thing. It's $2,000, $550, and $550 a month, and we help people. We use a little bit of Facebook ads. We boost the ads to a custom audience, their database, and we retarget their website traffic. But that's about as far as we go on Facebook, because I'm very skeptical of much more with trying to generate leads. Now, I can see marketing and networking, that makes a lot of sense, but like when it comes to buyer or seller leads from Facebook, lots of skepticism. So I decided to test it out, and we offer an additional add-on for an extra $500 a month. We would start just crushing Facebook ads for lead generation, right? And we really couldn't find anything that really worked. I mean, people would opt in, but the quality was really low. And like, there was no search intent. Someone was like scanning on Facebook. They put their information. You call, like, why are you calling me? And it fizzled out.
They all have AOL accounts.
Yeah. Yeah. It just kind of fizzled out, but there's, some remaining clients of the service. And I'm like, why are you guys still paying for this? Like, what's going on? Like, well, Frank, we have a team, and we promised them leads, and this is the cheapest way to deliver on that promise. I'm like, oh, makes sense.
And that's, I think the majority of the lead gen services, that's how they're being sold now. And literally this guy was telling me, well, you need something to give your team.
Yeah.
Well, what about if you had an event, you took 4 of your team members there, gave them VIP badges, and said whatever business you get from the event, that's your business. That's a lead you developed.
Yeah. Stephen, we're very much philosophically aligned where you want to attract, not chase.
I am a lover of the inbound call.
Yeah, as am I.
My favorite type of sales. And, when you're wanted, it's a lot easier to provide a service and to be a good service provider. I don't feel I don't want to shove anything down someone's throat. I want to work with people that want to work with me.
That's good. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time today. Where can people go to check you out again?
They can go to rockstarconnect.com. It's a great website because we copied a lot of viral marketing, what they do. They have a great transparent website. We have a transparent website, tells all of our services and our costs are all there on the page. But definitely give us a call if it's something that you're interested in, because we have a special deal we're running right now. And when we get on the phone, we can explain it to you more in depth.
That's great. Awesome. All right, everyone, want to check out a little more about viral marketing, getviral.com. Thank you, everyone, for attending. See you, Stephen. Appreciate it, buddy.
See you later. Thank you.